All right, so let's talk about Dak Prescott and the developing conversations that, hey, he's still developing. Well, all quarterbacks still develop throughout their career. I've looked at a lot of information with Tom Brady stating the same, even when he's in his 15th season or even when he was in his 18th season, he still said, I'm still developing. Nevertheless, I think that out of context, a lot of people took what Brian Schottenheimer said and they ran with it, and that's cool. Everybody needs to have those clicks, but in actuality, I do like the sentiments of the statement because I still want Dak Prescott to develop. And a lot of people think that, hey, Law, you always give Dak Prescott a pass on this and that. Well, when you listen to what we say, and people are selective listeners, and I get it, we looking for someone to blame as it relates to the Cowboys issues for the last 30 years, 15 seasons, or 10 seasons or 5 seasons. Well, if you want to put it all on Dak, then do that. But in actuality, what I want Dak Prescott at is anywhere between 23 to about 27 throws a game. And I want quality throws. And I want to put him in a situation whereas I want him to have run game, and those are the things that's how you can expound and get him better. Now, one of the people we talked to during the off season is Steve Simco, and you see him in the background here, and he's one of the guys that's really in tune with analytics and ways to attack on a different scale of things. Keep in mind, when he was in Boston College, he also elevated that offense from 120 average yards a game to about 300. And when we got a chance to talk to him, I said, hey, what was the ongoing issue the previous year? And he said, well, he was under observation analysis, meaning that he didn't get a chance nor a scenario to implement anything. But down the stretch, he said to me, we did get a chance to implement a few things, and that was putting Kevontae Turpin in the backfield to free him up and utilizing him more and utilizing most of the weapons that the Cowboys had. Now, granted, that season is washed and it's done. Now it's moving in with the Shoddy era, and hopefully Steve Simco, even though he's more on the quarterback side now, can implement some of these strategies to help this team out collectively that will benefit Dak Prescott overall. And that's what I'm getting at with that. And then when we look at other things with Dak Prescott, of course, this is a year whereas everyone want him to excel and achieve higher heights due to the fact that the NFC East been strengthened by the Washington team, and of course the Eagles been a Super Bowl champ. So you would want your team as a Cowboys silver and blue to step it up this season, and especially starts with 4. There's no shape, form, or fashion to run away from that. And you got to solidify the trenches too on both sides of it, on defense and offense, to make that happen. And this is another guy that a lot of people have been talking about moving on a little bit further, is Solomon Thomas, right? Here's the caveat to him. Think of this. Osa Odighi-Ozua, he do kind of pretty much fizzle out down the stretch, right? Those 3 games in 11 days put a lot of toll on his body and beyond. So what I would say this, though, if you look at Solomon Thomas and you add him in as a rotational piece or a guy that can alleviate some of the things that Osa brings to the table, far as the law of diminishing rates of return is a real law, right? There are things that you just can't continue to keep the same pace at. Hopefully, when you look at Solomon Thomas tape, he's a guy that plays through the echoes of the whistle. He had 4 sacks last season. He had 6 sacks this season before that. If you complement that with what Osa's been doing, similar numbers almost, right, as far as sack production, now we have that on our side. And it's good for us to look into this and see how we can help elevate the room overall, Cowboy Nation. And this is a guy, CJ, he just knows the ball. And of course, this right here, see, Dangerous Lamb, I can make the same argument for him. A lot of people, when you look at CeeDee Lamb, you got to understand that he was the only guy we can talk about Jalen Tolbert. We can talk about Jalen Brooks. We can talk about my guy, Brandon Cooks, who got cooked. You know, all of those things. We can talk about other pieces that's ancillary. Most teams that makes big runs have 2 wideouts that can really demand and kill the one-on-ones. Well, now we got Lamb, who can carve you up and kill you with the one-on-ones. And, of course, you mix that in with Pickens. This should be a happy medium of being able to move the ball on certain situations, and especially winning your one-on-ones. And then, of course, we see Mingo in the back looking like a tight end over there. Hopefully he can step up and fight for a spot on his team. But what I'm getting at is you combine the combination of Lamb and Pickens. This should help alleviate some of the things that you guys put on Dak Prescott to do, right? So instead of 3rd and long and I'm going to Jalen Tolbert or Jalen Brooks, 3rd and long, I can now hit CeeDee Lamb. I can now hit Pickens. Or to a degree, if those 2 are occupied, now Tolbert looks like a better option, or Mingo to a degree. And we'll see how that can work out for us in a good way. And this is one of the things that we've been talking about is relates to the fronts and everything. Continue to work on that. And that's what we got right here, getting these guys going in the best way possible. And I love seeing these type of things. D-line, trenches, and keep in mind, a lot of people sleeping on White Cotton. White Cotton gonna get these boys right. Keep this on your mental mindset for future thoughts. So many people talking about, well, the Cowboys can't stop the run. Well, that was the old administration. You got to understand principles and philosophy is with this particular administration to stop the run. Dan Quinn, when he was here, historically speaking, you have to go all the way back to the Legion of Boom when Dan Quinn was on the team, but he wasn't coaching the team as it relates to defense on when his team was able to stop the run. So that's a principle or a concept. The Washington team last year couldn't stop the run. They get turnovers, but they couldn't stop the run, collectively speaking. Now the Cowboys with Mike Zim, and when you look at what he was trying to do last year, it was like, hey, I'm not trying to come in here to rock and change things around and rock the boat. What I'm trying to do here is just keep things going. The main thing, which was a Cowboys team that was 12-5. He was on a 1-year rental. So he didn't try to come in here and to try to change everybody's philosophy. Well, newsflash, Cowboy Nation. This particular Matt Eberflus, they pride themselves on stopping the run. And I hope that Jay right here, you see him, his get off is nice. He just needs to be technically sound on a few things, but I'm looking at it from this aspect. He could be the missing piece to help this team out down the stretch. And we're seeing that these guys are enthused about everything. I'm seeing Mozzie Smith and Cowboy Nation, the unity for this particular room. And we're seeing Deuce Vaughn and the running backs in the backfield. Hey, let's get it, Cowboy Nation. I hope that these guys can get things moving. There's Harmon. I hope that he can figure out ways to find a way on this team. 51 getting it going, trying to earn everything. And speaking of earning, this Jadon Blue without the star on the side of the helmet because he haven't earned it. Now, I like everything about him, but what's going on with them green Nikes, man? You got to take them off, man. What's going on with the Cowboys equipment room and beyond? Look, tell these boys, hey, we like for y'all to have your brands and everything, but get with the color coordinations, with the scheme. You know, only time we like green is with the money. Come on with it. Take them green shoes off. Get some blue shoes on him, man. Nike. Come on, man. Send the Cowboys some blue ones, man. That green looked terrible to me. All right. And we're seeing 94. And I'm seeing my guy Tyrus Wheat, who's fighting for a spot on his team, who's overlooked in a lot of situations. So 91. Hey, stand tall or not at all. But this guy right here, he's going to get y'all going. And that's Dante Fowler. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do. One of the veteran edge rushers on this team. And let's see what he can do to make some movements. And speaking of movements, we got Jalen Cropper. We have Josh Kelly. We have Harmon. We have all of these boys. This is the wide receiver group. And then, of course, Jalen Brooks over here. Jalen over here. And Cavante Turpin. And the back, I believe that is CeeDee Lamb. The wide receiver group, mixing it up with Rain, Dakota Prescott. Hopefully everything can work out for us for the 2025 season. Let's get it, Cowboy Nation. Y'all know how we like to talk about these type of things. And this is a throw from Dak to CeeDee Lamb. Let's get it. And I'm glad that at least he got the lighter hue of the green shoes on versus them dark green shoes. But CeeDee Lamb, I think that Lamb's going to have a hell of a year. And can't make out who this is, but he's a guy that's been on the team already because he got a star on the side of the helmet. It's not a rookie. Y'all let me know in the chat who this is, right? And shout out to Brock Hoffman. Fairweather, hopefully 45 can keep it live. He got good short area quickness, can block pretty well. He could be somebody's dark horse on his team, and people all of a sudden saying, hey, man, where this dude come from? 45, man, where that dude come from? And that could be a situation there. TJ Bass, and it looks like Tyler Smith, and everybody watching. This is Connor Riley. Connor Riley is a no bull sugar guy, you know, and I think that this offensive line with concept and scheme with great energy will be a whole lot better than what we've seen out of Mike Solari, right? Who was on the same staff with Tom Landry. Y'all keep that into your mental mindset. Now, shout out to Mike Solari on all of the things he did for the Cowboys. But it was time for him to go, man. Come on. Everybody pretty much was fighting to show their relevancy, and it was difficult last season because of Mike Solari and Jeff Blasco. Man, come on. And the expectation's still the same because people from the outside, they don't know about the foolishness that's in the inside. And they would never understand the political warfare that we have to go through. And they would use the Cowboys' lack of success and put it out there to the forefront. And there will be nobody that can stand and combat and debate the fact that Jeff Blasco, who was a running game guy, right, who pretty much trying to teach somebody that he don't know, who never played running back, right, supposed to be the best running back room in the group, right, and Mike Solari, he had depends on, and all of a sudden he's supposed to be able to elevate the room as it relates to the offensive line groupings, right? And was it Scott Tolzien, Lean Kazine? Hey, it was his first time at it trying to coach the quarterbacks. And what I'm getting at is nobody from the outside looking in would understand the political pains that we go through, and we just become laughing stocks. But what Shotty did is say, hey, let me get some real people in here that understand the cost, right? And will put in the time, and there's no freebies out here. So that's why I like with this particular coaching staff, not saying that these guys can walk on water or turn water into wine or anything of that nature. But what I'm getting at is that collectively, when we are having these discussions, now we can go into a room and say, hey, well, these guys going to stay up late burning the midnight oil and making sure that they put true continuity in, not no makeshift Scott McCurley, Jeff Tolzien or Scott Tolzien and Jeff Blasco and Mike Solari. But there will still be somebody say, hey, stop all of the excuses, man. We supposed to win every game. I don't give a dog if this guy first time ever coaching this position, right? And there will be those who understand the realness of this. And I appreciate each and every last one of you all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it. They don't see it, but I know you guys can see it. And I'm talking about the real football people. Y'all know football is not to be played with. And when these coaches get into these particular guys, coaching matters. Come on with it. DC for life, not for short. Peace.